Think Oscelda is just a tree-hugging healer with a fixation for decorative statues? Not quite. This so-called Starter Pact can spike for over 1000 damage and shut down entire groups in a raging storm of feathers and blades. Once the setup is in motion, most enemies don't even get to act. Let's dive in, starting with her first ability. Bestone fires a projectile at your softlock target. On hit, it petrifies up to 4 enemies in a large radius. Petrification lasts a long time, but it's heavily reduced on bosses. Recasting on petrified targets won't extend the effect. But here's the important part. The first damage that breaks the petrification deals double damage. Bestone is built for single high damage hits, not multi-hit spam. One of the best tools for this is a perfect throw with a spear, ideally aimed straight at a weak spot. That's 4-digit damage with barely any setup, and since petrified enemies don't move, landing weak spots is actually doable. Alternatively, just let them stand there. Against large groups, just ignore the petrified ones and clean up the rest first. It's simple and makes everything else easier to manage. Bestone offers near constant uptime, spear synergy and consistent crowd control, making it your central tool for both pressure and protection. Landing those 1k plus damage headshots over and over just feels good. Now let's talk about one of the most beginner-friendly healing abilities in the game. Elder Bloom is your second ability. It creates a flower at your feet that continuously heals all nearby envoys. It's incredibly useful, but this is not an emergency heal. Its slow cast time and periodic healing make it a poor panic button. Use it as a preemptive sustain tool, so it's already active when things go bad. Timed right, it can bridge the vulnerable seconds before your control setup kicks in. And that's exactly what the next ability is for. Phantom Flock is your third ability, and it fires another projectile. Hitting an enemy summons a swarm of ravens that repeatedly dive at that target. Other enemies can be hit too, but only if they stray into the swarm's trajectory. The real value here isn't the damage. It's a constant micro staggers. Each raven hit causes a brief stagger, enough to interrupt or delay most actions. And since they hit often, enemies can barely fight back. Never use Phantom Flock on petrified enemies. The rapid damage ticks will instantly break Bestone, ruining both the stun window and your chance to land a high damage spear throw. Instead, pair it with Orbit Blades from Fly Blades. The combo hits constantly, keeping enemies flinching and rapidly filling the stagger meter. And when one target dies, the flock doesn't stop. It auto jumps to a nearby enemy as long as the duration is still running. Oscelda has two standout strengths to build around: spike damage setups and melee-based stagger chains. Let's start with the weapons that best support those playstyles. For once, I can proudly say it's not the bow. Oscelda's best weapon is the spear, and the synergy is nearly perfect. Specifically, Gathanan, which scales with their highest default stat, Spirit, paired with Skilter in the side hand for bonus dagger, while still gaining some damage from your second highest virtue, Grace. The synergy between Bestone, Phantom Flock and Orbit Blades turns every encounter into a loop of spikes, staggers and finishers, usually needing just 1 or 2 melee hits before the next finisher prompt appears. Both can still work if you really can't let them go. Headshots still benefit from breaking Bestone, just not nearly as much as a perfect spear throw. And Arrow Hail adds a bit of stagger, but in my testing, spears outperformed both across the board when using Oscelda's full kit. Oscelda scales best when you invest into the virtue that boosts your primary weapon. And for this build, that's Spirit. Then put the rest into Grace. It boosts Bestone's range, Flyblade's damage, and makes it easier to control the battlefield. Here's how to actually use Oscelda's kit in combat. Bestone is your opener. Use it to freeze up to 4 enemies. If there are more, delay and handle the rest. On bosses, use it for a quick burst while the adds are locked down. Phantom Flock and Orbit Blades are your second wave. Use the combo with anything relevant still moving. Start with Elder Bloom to sustain during setup window. Open with Orbit Blades on trash, its duration extends on kill. Reverse the order for bosses. Phantom Flock lasts longer. That optimizes their overlap. Once both are active, dive in and start mauling. Let's cover the passives quickly before moving on to the skill tree. Vernal Pool grants a massive ability region bonus, but only while you're standing in water. In practice, it's extremely rare to find water where it actually matters mid-fight. I mean, the Mendicant King does have a few puddles, so there's at least that. It's too situational now. But if the devs ever add a wetland tile set, this thing is instantly S tier. Tendril briefly petrifies enemies that hit you in close range, but it deals no damage and doesn't trigger Bestone's bonus. It can even block your own Bestone cast. Most of your melee happens during Phantom Flock and Orbit Blades, so petrified targets get knocked out almost instantly. Not useful for this build, otherwise only situational. For skill investment, start by unlocking just enough in your passive to reach a kin. After unlocking Sympathy and Everbound, dump any remaining points into Spirits or Grace, whichever needs topping off. You might wonder if Sympathy is still worth it when you already have Elder Bloom. The answer is yes. Bloom isn't always up and it can't handle emergencies. You won't think about it while it's working, but you will feel it if you don't have it. Oscelda is a strong pick for players who favor control, sustain and safe burst windows without high skill demand. More packed spotlights coming soon. Feel free to like or subscribe if this helped. Thanks for watching and enjoy your fables.